When you picture a millionaire, what do you see? A slick sports car? A sprawling mansion? Maybe a yacht? The truth is, for a vast majority of millionaires, the picture is far more ordinary. In fact, if you saw them on the street, you might not look twice. And that's not an accident. It's the very first secret to their success. It's a principle so simple, yet so difficult in our modern world. Live below your means. This isn't about being cheap. It's about being intentional. A 2022 study found that the average net worth of American families actually crossed the $1 million mark for the first time. But these aren't the people you see on reality TV. These are people who consciously spend less than they earn. They avoid the trap of unnecessary debt. Think about this. Nearly a third of all millionaires drive Toyotas and Hondas. Fords come in third place. You have to go down the list to find Lexus, tied at just 8%. The most famous example, of course, is Warren Buffett. A man with a net worth in the tens of billions who still lives in the same modest house he bought in Omaha, Nebraska, back in 1958 for $31,000. This mindset extends to all areas of life. They're cautious about expensive divorces, they avoid endlessly supporting their adult children, and they don't overspend on vacations. A full 41% spend less than $3,000 a year on travel. This flies in the face of one of the biggest wealth killers of our time, lifestyle inflation. That subtle, almost invisible creep, where your spending rises to meet your income. You get a raise, so you get a nicer car. You get a bonus, so you upgrade your apartment. It feels natural, like a reward. But it keeps you on the financial treadmill, living paycheck to paycheck, just at a higher level. The real challenge isn't just earning more money. It's protecting that money from societal pressure, from the desire to keep up with the Jonesies, who are more often than not broke. So what do you do with the money you're not spending on a new car or a lavish vacation? That brings us to the second principle. Invest consistently and wisely with a long-term focus. The money you save by living frugally isn't meant to sit idle in a checking account. It has a job to do. And that job is to make more money. A 2024 Fidelity study revealed something remarkable. 88% of millionaires are self-made. They didn't win the lottery or inherit a fortune. They built it. And when asked how, 3 out of 4 gave the same answer. Regular, consistent investing over a long period. They favor the slow and steady approach, placing money into things like growth stock mutual funds, over get-rich-quick schemes. They understand the almost magical power of compounding interest, where your money starts earning its own money. This means starting early is a massive advantage. The data is clear. The sooner you start saving for retirement, the significantly less you need to put away each year to hit that $1 million mark. But it also means having the psychological fortitude to stay the course. It's easy to invest when the market is soaring. But what happens when it drops? Our brains are hardwired with something called loss aversion. We feel the pain of a loss much more intensely than the pleasure of an equal gain. This fear can cause us to panic and sell at the worst possible time. The key is to remove emotion from the equation. Automate your investments. Set up a fixed amount to be transferred from your paycheck into your pension and savings account every single month, regardless of what the market is doing. This strategy, called dollar cost averaging, turns volatility into an advantage. When prices are low, your fixed amount buys more shares. When they're high, it buys fewer. Over time, it smooths out the bumps and keeps you focused on the horizon, not the storm right in front of you. Now, this level of discipline and long-term thinking doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It has to be fueled. It has to be nurtured. And that leads directly to the third habit of the wealthy, a relentless commitment to continuous learning. In an age of endless digital distraction, billionaires like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are famous for being voracious readers. Buffett reportedly still reads 5 to 6 hours a day, and they're not alone. One 5-year study on the habits of the wealthy found that 88% of millionaires read for at least 30 minutes every single day, specifically to increase their knowledge about their job and their industry. Compare that to just 2% of those struggling financially. 85% read at least 2 books a month. This isn't just about accumulating trivia. It's about developing perspective. It's about fueling a curiosity that drives innovation and the willingness to take calculated risks. But it's not just about books. Learning is a multifaceted journey. Mentorship is incredibly powerful. Having someone who has already walked the path you're on can provide shortcuts, help you avoid pitfalls, and open doors to networks you couldn't access on your own. Formal education can provide a critical foundation of skills, from financial literacy to marketing strategy. The most effective approach is a blend. Self-study to stay agile, mentorship for wisdom, and formal education for a strong base. This constant intake of new information is what allows you to make better decisions, whether it's about your career, your business, or your investment portfolio. But all the knowledge in the world is useless if it just stays in your head. It has to be channeled into action. This is the fourth tip. Set clear goals and take action. Millionaires are intensely goal-oriented. They don't just have vague dreams like, I want to be rich. They have specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, or SMART, goals. They know exactly what they're working toward, and when they expect to get there. A staggering 70% of millionaires are actively pursuing one major goal at any given time. They write their goals down. They track their progress. This creates a powerful feedback loop that builds momentum. But perhaps even more important than the goal itself is the mindset they bring to it. They have a strong bias towards action and an incredible capacity for resilience. We all face setbacks. A business venture might fail. An investment might go south. A career path might hit a dead end. The difference is how you respond. For many, a setback is a reason to quit. For the self-made millionaire, it's a data point. It's a lesson. They accept that failure is part of the process, learn from it, and get back to work. Their clear vision, their why, is so strong that it pulls them through the inevitable tough times. They understand that motivation isn't a passive feeling that strikes you like lightning. It's a consequence of action. You don't wait until you're motivated to act. You act, and that creates motivation. Finally, we arrive at the fifth tip, which accelerates the entire process. It's about shifting from a purely defensive financial strategy of saving and investing to an offensive one. Generate multiple income streams. Relying on a single paycheck from a single job is like sitting on a one-legged stool. It might be stable for a while, but it's inherently risky. If that one leg gets kicked out from under you, you have nothing to fall back on. Millionaires understand this. Many are entrepreneurs. About 15% of all small business owners in the US are millionaires. But even for those who aren't, they are constantly looking for ways to create more income. This doesn't mean working 80 hours a week. It means being creative. It could be passive income from investments like real estate or dividend stocks. It could be a side hustle that leverages a skill you already have, like freelance writing, virtual assistants, or tutoring online. You could create and sell a digital product, like an ebook or an online course, which you build once and can sell over and over again. You can even leverage assets you already own, like renting out a spare room or your car when you're not using it. This entrepreneurial spirit, this willingness to pursue novel ideas, is a defining trait. One study found that 76% of millionaires pursued new ventures, compared to only 9% of the poor. This diversification of income doesn't just increase your earning potential, it builds a powerful layer of financial security. These 5 tips aren't a random collection of ideas. They are a system. They feed into each other in a virtuous cycle. Living below your means gives you the capital to invest. Consistent investing, powered by compounding, builds your wealth over time. Continuous learning gives you the knowledge and perspective to make smarter decisions and identify new opportunities. Clear goals channel that knowledge into focused action and give you the resilience to overcome failure. And finally, creating multiple streams of income pours fuel on the entire fire, accelerating your journey to financial freedom. It's not about a secret formula. It's not about luck. It's about a set of disciplined, intentional habits practiced consistently over a very long time. It's about realizing that true wealth isn't measured by the things you own, but by the freedom and choices you have. And that is a fortune worth building. Thank you for watching another Money Mad video. Subscribe if you want to improve your financial life and really understand your money. See you in the next one.